Hello everyone from just outside Zurich, Switzerland. I'm out here by Zurich Airport where I was supposed to have a flight out today, but it got canceled last minute, so have to take the following day's flight. Fingers crossed that that won't get canceled. And the whole reason I'm here in Zurich in the first place is kind of crazy, and I wasn't intending to be here up until a couple of days ago. The reason why I'm here now though is explained in another video, which you can click on up here above. But for now, since I have this extra day in Zurich and it's a city I've never been to before, figured I would take one of those, but going the other way, into the city center of Zurich, because I'd never been to Zurich before outside of just the airport. And, you know, since I have this extra unexpected day here, why not? You know, if you're in a city you've never been to before and have some extra time that you didn't expect to have there, you have to go out and explore it, especially on a really nice, warm summer day like it is today. So come and join me on a walk around the old historic center of Zurich. Zurich HB, Zurich Central Train Station. If you're coming here by train from near or far, this is where you're going to come into if you are coming to the city center of Zurich. Came here on the S15, just 4 stops from Rumlang, which is where I started out by the airport, near where a lot of the airport hotels are. It was 6 francs and 80 cents for one trip here. May sound a bit expensive because, well, it is. Zurich is an expensive place. There's not really any way around it, so that's how much it'll cost to go back too. You can buy your train tickets even for the local transit on the SBB app, SBB, which is the Swiss rail system. So I purchased the ticket to come here, the one-way, on that app. Very easy and convenient to use. You don't need to have a login for that. You can purchase them as a guest if you'd like. So now that I'm just kind of exiting the train station here, first I'm going to go to the Swiss National Museum, which is close to here, and then walk around the old city center. Zurich, the biggest city in Switzerland, about 1.3 million people, so it's not too crazy big of a city, but nonetheless the biggest in Switzerland. It is of course in the German-speaking part of Switzerland, and it is a big business and transportation center, of course, for Switzerland. And in terms of a place to visit, it's not really too much of a tourist attraction, but there are things to see here if you spend a day here. After seeing the Swiss National Museum, nice to take a walk, especially on a nice summer day like this, along the river here, and then go across over and take a stroll through the old historic center. Certainly a lot of unique architecture and streets to see in there. But yeah, many people don't really come to Zurich particularly for tourism, but nevertheless, it is nice to see if you're spending a day here. And as I've mentioned before, it is expensive here, so I guess the one good thing if you don't often have a good budget is that, well, if you only have about one day or half a day to spend here, you could see a lot of what there really is to see here really quickly in one day before moving off to a bit of a cheaper place. So let's go take a walk over to the historic old center, and then go get something to eat for dinner. Lindenhoff, definitely a must-see when you're walking around the old town of Zurich. It's right here in the middle of the old town. It's not a very tall hill, and you have some nice views back there of the rest of Zurich. It's along the river, so definitely a nice thing to see while you're here. But now that we have seen it, let's go eat some dinner. I found a nice traditional Swiss restaurant. Now, I've never really... You don't really hear much about traditional Swiss food, but I found this restaurant that seemed like it had a pretty local flair, so let's go and check it out. That was a very good, very delicious, traditional Swiss meal at Alpenrose. I'll leave a link, of course, in the description to this place if you're looking for something that's a bit more traditional Swiss. Now, because it is Zurich, of course, it is not cheap to go out and eat. And of course, this was not like a super cheap budget place. It was not a fancy place either, just like a normal sit-down restaurant. But the cost of my main course, glass of wine, sparkling water, and dessert altogether was 61 francs, which is about 63 US dollars. The most I have ever paid probably for a meal just for myself, but again, you know, this is Zurich, so expect to pay a lot when you go out to do anything. You could eat a little bit more cheaply than that, of course. Like if you go to McDonald's or something, it's not going to be quite that much. But if you want like a typical traditional Swiss dinner, then expect to pay about 60 francs like I did. Worth it though. I mean, for my one day here, I figured it was worth it though to have like a more traditional type of meal. If I were to spend more than just today in Zurich, I would eat somewhere a little bit cheaper. Of course, I can't afford to be spending 60 bucks per dinner. But tomorrow I will be leaving. Fingers crossed that my flight won't get canceled again. I will be going to a place that I'm not just traveling to, I am kind of moving there for a little while, and it's a place that I have never been to before. It is here in Europe, but that's all I'm going to tell you for now. You'll have to wait until after this to start seeing some content coming from out of there. And of course, if you follow my Instagram, the Global Niko Instagram, you'll get a bit of a preview of where this place is. But it's a place I'll be living at for a little while, and while I'm there, I'll be making a lot of videos from there and from the area around there. And I am really excited to be sharing that with you guys. So until then, stay tuned. Make sure, of course, that you have subscribed so that you can stay tuned for this next place that I'm going off to for a while. And until then, take care and travel better.